Well, this is Adam. I mean, I'll plug our own union. I mean, as I mentioned, we're trying to make sure that we frame this conversation of diversity and inclusion to absolutely include people with disabilities. And so that can be anything from, actual workshops and on, on-camera technique and how do you actually pursue this work for people who are looking to get into it, pre-members or members of the union. It's supporting film festivals such as Real Abilities, REEL Abilities, which is a national film festival where they have festivals all around the country. New York, in particular, we work with trying to put together panel conversations, which we'll be doing in March, about this issue, about depictions, about authenticity, how do these decisions get made, and try to empower people to start making their own work, while behind the scenes, trying to talk to our partners, which we have been doing for the last several years with our television and theatrical producing partners. There's a task force that we have specifically set up to address the lack of inclusion of people with disabilities. So there's a lot of work that's being done in these areas, but it will take a while. I mean, it was mentioned before, the lack of diversity in the kind of the executive suite level, right, where the people, the decision makers, unless you're in the room, your experience and your perspective, which is kind of what this is about, right? I mean, your diversity of your experience and perspective should and would contribute to the product you make. And if you're not there, I mean, you don't have to have, a South Asian person in the room to make South Asian content. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have a real homogenous group of people, you're probably not going to get too terribly much in the way of new thinking about the stories you want to tell and the faces that you want to include in those stories. So, getting people with disabilities, to actually decide they're going to get into this business in the first place, which why would you when you don't see any path for you because there's nobody seems to be able to do it, and Marlee Matlin won an Oscar however long ago, and since then, where's that been, right? So it's a difficult decision to get into the business in the first place. Family helps, right? Internships and getting in the room and working your way up the ladder, but there needs to be those folks from all of the ends of the spectrum, but in particular disability, who are actually making it into those suite levels and making it their business to actually be in a position to make decisions. And we're